Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the TACRAO Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Julian. I'm going to be your facilitator for this evening. And a few housekeeping items before we get started. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them down at the bottom in the Q&A chat box. Just make sure that you're addressing the college that you want to answer your question, so we're not leaving any of those left behind. And you can ask any questions throughout this session to any college at any time. So it doesn't have to be just the person that is presenting. Remember, your camera and microphones are off, so all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the information. And then you can sign up for more sessions. We have one more after this tonight, or we have, I think, about a day or two left in the Tennessee College Fairs. So you can do that by going to strivescan.com/Tennessee, where also the recording for this and any other sessions will be available within about a week. So we are going to leave it over to our first institution tonight, our first presenter from the University of Central Arkansas. And while they get their screen share up and running, just want to continue to encourage you to pop in those questions in the Q&A chat box. And we'll leave the floor over to our first presenter.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Mallory Watson, and I am your admissions counselor from the University of Central Arkansas. If you're not familiar with Arkansas, that's okay. We're located in Central Arkansas, right in the middle of the state, about 25 minutes from our capital, which is Little Rock. So a couple of perks for out-of-state students that I always want to bring up first, because it's important information for you all. Students who live out of state, if you live on our campus, you get in-state tuition as long as you live on our campus. So that's super important to remember and know, keep in mind when you're looking at different schools. So we're located in Conway, Arkansas. We're a four-year public institution. If you are curious how big our campus is, how many students we have on campus, these are our numbers. Our student to faculty ratio is 16:1. We're really proud of this. We think that this creates a really good one-on-one relationship with students and professors if they need that extra time, extra tutoring outside of class, and the smaller classroom environment just creates better relationships with other students as well. Student life, I always say students may come here for certain programs, but I believe they stay here because of our student life. Involvement. We have over 200 registered student organizations. That's a mouthful, so we call them RSOs. You can actually create one yourself if you see a unique club that is needed on campus. These are anything to do with your clubs for majors, religious organizations, political groups, Greek life, anything related to that. This is our Hyper Center on campus, aka our campus gym facility. There are tons of different things you can do here in the Hyper: cardio, weights, machines. We also have group exercise classes. We have 3 full-size basketball courts, racquetball. We have a golf simulator, a pool. So there's a lot of things to get involved in here at the Hyper Center. This is our Hyper Center pool. We have a really cool intramural called Battleship, where students get in canoes and you basically try to sink each other, and the last man standing wins. So that's a really fun intramural we have. Our UCA challenge course, this is new as of this summer. It's really fun, but I will say it's very challenging, especially if you're afraid of heights, but it is really fun. These are the purple and gray stripes. This may be what you know us for. If you don't know anything else about UCA, that's totally fine. We get to keep these next time we reinstall turf, because we were grandfathered in before the NCAA rolled out colored turf. Housing, we have residential colleges, which is a living and learning environment where students live with students that have the same major as them or similar majors as them, which is really awesome. We have the only insurance and risk management major in the state of Arkansas. So if you're interested in that, this could set you apart from other students on your resume applying to jobs. College of Education, we started off as a school for teachers in 1907. So our education department is incredible. We are almost done with this building, our new health and behavioral sciences building. This will serve occupational therapy students, nursing, and family and consumer science. We're getting a new fine arts building next door. We got a $20 million donation for that. These are our current requirements. If you want to be admitted for the fall 2021 semester, feel free to take a picture of this. And you can always go back in the recording and view this again if you need to. These are our 2 scholarship deadlines. One has passed, but if you meet the requirement for the 3rd and 4th year, that deadline is May 3rd. Our application to UCA, your scholarship application, it's the same thing. You don't have to fill out anything separate for this, as long as we have these 3 documents to admit you to UCA in order to process your application. You can apply here. And to go to apply, schedule a campus tour, which we offer Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., or sign up for an admitted student open house visit. You can go to gopurple.uca.edu. And if you have any questions, my name is Mallory Watson, and this is my email address. Go Bears.
Hey, Julian, I think you're muted.
I was going through my whole spiel right there. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I was just saying our next presenter is going to be you from University of Arkansas. So if you want to get your screen share up and running, and I just want to continue to encourage everybody to keep putting in those questions in the Q&A chat box throughout the night.
Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it. So my name is Megan Garland, and I am the admissions counselor for the University of Arkansas. So we're in the northwest corner of the state of Arkansas. We are the flagship land grant institution for the state. So it's a great place to be. I'll tell you a little bit more about where we're located first. So we are in a town called Fayetteville, and Fayetteville is actually consistently named in the top 5 places to live in the entire United States. So out of any places that you could live, Fayetteville is one of the greatest. And so we're really proud of that statistic. There's a lot of reasons that Fayetteville is consistently named such a great place to live. There's a lot going on in the area. So lots of outdoor opportunities. We're in the top 25 outdoor colleges in the United States. Places like the Buffalo National River, Beaver Lake, Devil's Den State Park, all within a short drive of our campus. We have an award-winning farmers market in a historic downtown square. So we're really a quintessential college town. That historic downtown runs right through our campus. So it's a unique place to come and do your college experience. Now, if you're familiar with a little company called Walmart, they were started in Bentonville, Arkansas. Now, Bentonville is about 40 minutes from our campus. Super grateful Walmart's in the area. They're investing into our campus, into our students, but they're also providing some pretty awesome opportunities. Within an hour's drive of campus, there are over 325 Fortune 500 companies and over 4,000 businesses. There's only one city in the world that matches our density of Fortune 500 companies. That city is New York City. So for you to be able to be in the middle of the Ozark Mountains and have the same types of opportunities you could have in the Big Apple, I think is one of the coolest and most unique things about our university. Now, when you're looking at traveling to us from Tennessee, you're looking at about a 5-hour drive on the interstate from Memphis, and then about a 7.5-hour drive or a direct flight from Nashville, to give you a good idea of what that looks like. Now, of course, on our campus, we have a lot of things going on as well. We have over 400 registered student organizations. Those are pre-professional societies, political, religious, cultural organizations. Now, a couple of my favorites, we've got the I Heart Dr. Pepper Club and the Tour de Nugget, which is an organization a student started where students will carpool around town to all the various restaurants that serve chicken nuggets, and they will rank them bracket style to determine who serves the best nuggets in town. So you can get really creative with the types of things you're getting involved in on our campus. Now, in the classroom, we have about 200 degree programs. About 100 of those are academic majors that you can choose from. I'll highlight a few of our programs. So our College of Business is in the top 30 business programs in the United States. Our architecture program has previously been named in the top 10 architecture programs in the nation. We have a nationally ranked engineering program with 11 different disciplines. And then our nursing program, they graduate with the 100% job placement rate. So lots of great options for you. And then regardless of your major, we do maintain an 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is pretty impressive when you consider how large our university is. So we do have just under 28,000 students on our campus. About 22,000 of those are undergraduate students. So even though we are large, lots of resources, you can expect most of your classes to be about the size of an average high school classroom. Now you can see there a picture of our football team. So we are proud to be the home of the only Razorbacks in the world. Really proud of our men's basketball team for making it to the Elite Eight this year. We're also nationally ranked #1 in cross country, #1 in track and field, and #1 in baseball. So it's a great time to be a Hog. Stock up on your red and white, learn to call the Hogs, and then purchase an all-inclusive student athletic pass. It's $85, gets you into every single home game for every sport for the entire year. So that's a great opportunity. Definitely a big tradition on our campus to come out and call those Hogs. Of course, if study abroad is something you're interested in, we have that as well. We are in the top 5 programs in the nation. So I'll tell you a little bit about our admissions policy. To be automatically admitted, you can be automatically admitted in one of 2 ways. You can have a 3.0 GPA and a 20 super score on the ACT, or a 1030 super score on the SAT. Or if you have a 3.2 GPA, then you will automatically be admitted without those test scores. So that's a couple of ways that you can do that. I do want to make sure that I mentioned we do have a non-resident tuition award. So as Tennessee residents, you are going to qualify for up to 90% off of that additional out-of-state portion of tuition. It's a fantastic opportunity, great way to save money. You're looking at about a scholarship of $15,000 a year, automatically applied as long as you have a 3.6 GPA in high school. And there are a couple other awards as well. So make sure you check that out. Our NRTA award is what that's called. Some dates you need to know: November 1st is the priority application deadline. November 15th is priority scholarship. So make sure you write those down. Juniors, your application is going to open up July 15th. You can apply on our website or through the Common Application. There's my contact information. You can write that down. If you scan that code, it should take you to a link where you can sign up to be on our mailing list. So we'll send all of that important information to you. Let me know if you have questions, again, in that Q&A box. That's what it's there for. Would love to get those questions answered for you. Otherwise, I hope you have a great rest of your night, and go Hogs.
Thank you so much. Our next presenter is going to be from Williams Baptist University. So we'll let them get their screen share going. And yes, if there's any other sessions you want to attend, you can do so by going to strivescan.com/Tennessee.
Hey guys, my name is Laura Freeman and I'm your admissions counselor for Williams Baptist University. So we are also located in Arkansas. We are actually on the opposite side, so we're closer to Tennessee than Fayetteville, and then obviously we're a little bit closer than UCA as well. So with that being said, we're about an hour and a half away from Memphis, as long as you drive the speed limit. And so that means we're pretty close. If you're coming from that area, close enough you can bring your laundry home, but close enough or far enough away that you can actually be away and kind of get out and do that college experience, have that college experience. So let's talk a little bit about the different ways that you can get here to Williams. So we're going to have that traditional route that you're going to have no matter where you go to school. So you apply online. We have a free and essay-free application. With that application, there are no deadlines, so you can apply legitimately the day before classes start. And we'll try to get you in there and on your way. So we also super score, and we have our academic scholarships start at a 17. With that, your application is also your scholarship application, so you only have to complete one. We also have a brand new program called Williams Works. So this is something very unique to Williams. There's only 5 other schools that are fully implemented. We are only partially implemented at this point. But what that means is that you can come to Williams and you can work 16 hours a week, and then in turn that pays for your tuition and your student service fee completely. So those fees are covered. So yes, you heard me right. Your tuition and your student service fee can be covered. And you would, it's a really awesome experience because not only are you getting that tuition paid for, but you're also working, and that looks magnificent on a resume. So that's another separate application that you would have to do. You can do that online as well. And then you'll have 2 references you'd have to turn in with that. And there's more of a process, but we can chat about that later. There's also, you may want to come to Williams to participate in a sport or even a performing art. We do have 19 sports and 4 performing art teams. So if you're interested in one of those, just let me know. But there is a place on our website you can apply, and then the director or coach can kind of get in touch with you and see whether that leads. One of the other really neat things is that we would love to have you on campus. So basically, you just reach out to me, so you can kind of see on my screen there, there's a cell phone number listed, and you just text that number, and I will get back to you, and we will get you scheduled for a tour on campus. And that kind of leads me to one of the things about Williams that makes us a little bit different than some of the other schools, is just that we're smaller. And with us being a smaller university, you're going to get a family feel. You're going to get a community feel. And when you come here, you're going to get to know your fellow students, your fellow staff, faculty, and even the administration. Our president is actually part of a bluegrass band with fellow students. So you get to know everybody. Because of that, we have a pretty small faculty student ratio, or student faculty ratio of 14:1. And if your professor's doors are open, they tell you to come on in. And most of the time their doors are open. So you get to know them and they get to know you. So it's an awesome feeling to be a part of a smaller university. I'm always available through text, as I said a second ago. And once you apply, I'll usually send you a message and just kind of gently remind you to turn in your transcript or your ACT or SAT scores. And we just kind of go from there. So if you have any questions or concerns or problems, just definitely let me know. You can text or call or email, anything like that. So I hope you guys have a great night, and thanks for chatting with us today.
All right, thank you so much. Our next presenter is going to be from Quinn College, and we'll let them get their screen share up and running. And if there's any questions you have, go ahead and throw those in the Q&A chat box. So we'll leave it over to Quinn College.
Great, thank you very much. Get myself situated here. Well, hello. Thank you all for your time this evening. Appreciate you attending our session. And welcome to the Quinnite Nation. My name is Sean Witten. I'm the Director of Enrollment Management here. My contact will be at the end of the presentation. I'll certainly put it in the chat as well. So please feel free to host any questions, concerns, or comments you have about learning more about the Quinnite Nation here. First and foremost, I do really want to go through a little bit more of who we are. You know, we are the first and oldest historically Black college in the state of Texas. Our roots really began in 1872 in Austin, when we were started by AME church pastors who had this vision to start a school as a means to provide education to former enslaved people and their progeny. So since our inception, we've really been this ambitious, innovative, and civically engaged institution, and that's led to our successes. So much so that we really shaped and changed and made the Black middle class in the city of Waco, Texas. And so that's why they called us the Athens on the Brazos. And it's early on in our education, before we moved up to where we are now in Dallas, Texas, that we really focused our education on primarily vocational training and offering it with a sprinkle of the liberal arts. And that was really born out of this legacy and history and pride of built-in radical hope, if you will. We've now carried and now amplified that tradition of providing a quality, faith-based, liberal arts inspired education that not only addresses, academic, social, and Christian development of our students, but we're doing it through this innovative urban model of higher education that's focused on the academic rigor that you have in the classroom, and tying that and approaching it with experiential learning and building an entrepreneurial spirit for our students. So under the leadership of President Dr. Michael Sorrell, we've now become one of the most innovative and inspiring small colleges in the United States. We identify not only as an HBCU, but as a small, private, faith-based, 4-year liberal arts inspired college that hosts a reality-based education. And what I mean by reality-based is that in 2015, we adopted this new student financial structure that allowed us to take on a model that allowed us to reduce student tuition and fees and essentially allow our students to graduate with less than $10,000 of student loan debt. We do this through our Work College program. The Work College program is designated to students to give them meaningful work opportunities that allow them to not only serve themselves in the Quinnite community, but build out the necessary skills, habits, and experiences that you'll need for the 21st century job market. And you're able to do this because you're practicing and actively contributing towards not only building a resume, but towards the cost of your education while you're at Paul Quinn. You may be able to take a job on campus or work with one of the corporate partners that you see on screen now. Ultimately, I want to break this down for you and what it looks like. So you could attend Paul Quinn College for $12,000 a year, let's say, and in a normal traditional year when it's not a pandemic, it's around $16,000. You get one of these $10,000 or $15,000 internships at one of these corporate programs, and that automatically may bring your family bill down to around $4,000 for a 4-year education. And so it's opportunities like this that have really shaped who we want to be and how we want to serve our students. But that's how you apply what you learn in the classroom from our 7 different majors and 11 different concentrations. It's here that most of our students have a success in business, legal studies and criminology, and then liberal arts focused in mathematics, where they take that towards computer science as well. In addition to this, for students who are looking for a continued challenge, we have an honors college program that we've partnered with the Minerva Project to offer online. So you get this chance of not only getting a traditional, potentially 4-year degree, but you could do it online for all 4 years, receive $500 honors college scholarship, and continue to challenge yourself academically while also receiving that work college benefit as you work in your own community. At the same time, we call this and what we do at Paul Quinn, Nation Building 2.0. And that's because our student life is engaging and vibrant. It's thriving when our students are together. They're a family of folks not only enjoying themselves in community, but potentially in a brotherhood or sisterhood of the Divine Nine Black Greek sororities and fraternities, or 45 different clubs and organizations where students could take on academic approaches in our urban research initiative, or they can be in our HBCU Battle of the Brains team focusing in computer science, or a leader on campus in Student Government Association. It's here that our students really lay the foundation for what's going to be their next lifetime within that same token. Tiedra Jackson's the young woman in the purple dress there on screen. She went on to grad school, became a professional speaker, author, and HR consultant, and she did it not only to be profitable, certainly she is, but she did it with a purpose. And that's where she was able to focus on mental health and spiritual well-being in her authorship and became an Amazon bestseller in the same token. And so you get the chance to have a winning after quinning mentality. But what's it take to get your foot in the door at some opportunities like this? We require the following: high school transcript, resume, letter of rec, and a phone or Zoom interview. We are test optional this year and reviewing what that's going to look like for the future. As of right now, we want to continue to showcase an accessibility to our college experience. And that's why we review you with the acronym ROSE. We're looking for resourcefulness, originality, servant leadership, and ethic, both in the sense that we want you to have ethics and integrity, but also a work ethic to move yourself forward in the same token. All right. This is what our students have looked like in the past when it comes into our incoming classes. The minimum GPA is a 2.75 weighted on a 4.0 scale. For those honors college student is a minimum of a 3.3 GPA. Okay. Our financial aid process, I talked a little bit about with the Work College program, but we do offer institutional scholarships, 3 scholarships at $500 range, 2 scholarships at the $1,000 range, and then of course, any federal aid that you might be able to bring in as well, federal or state aid, I should say, that you might be able to bring in as well. And so we continue to make this an affordable option for our students. If you have questions, you need anything, this is our team over at Paul Quinn. We look forward to you joining the Quinnite Nation. Thank you.
All righty, thank you so much. Our next presenter is going to be from Hendrix College, and we're going to let them get their screen share up and running. So just want to encourage you to sign up for any other sessions tonight or in the next couple of days at strivescan.com/Tennessee.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name is Elon Epps, and I would be your mission counselor here at Hendrix College. And I'll just kind of give you a brief overview of our school and what that might look like for you. my slides won't work. So we are a smaller institution located here in Conway, Arkansas, the same place that UCA is also located. So we are just about a 3.5 hour drive to Memphis, if that kind of keeps you in mind where we are in consideration in Tennessee. And so we are smaller, so it's about 1,100 students, and you're really going to get to build these interpersonal relationships, not only with other students, but also with your faculty members. All of your classes are taught by professors. We have no TAs here, which means that you're really going to get to build these relationships with your professors, whether it's inside the classroom or outside as well. And then the last number I always cover on this slide is 37% student athlete. And so if there is a sport that you love that you've been playing, most likely we do have it. We even have esports. And so you can contact us and we'll put you in contact with our coaches, and that could potentially be a part of your next experience here in college. So now as you kind of think about what education looks like here at Hendrix, I really like to think about it as kind of turning education on its head, really taking whatever passion you might have to the next level. And we do that primarily through our Odyssey program. And so you'll see it here listed on this slide. So there's 6 different themes that we have. So artistic creativity, global awareness, professional leadership development, service to the world, undergraduate research, and special projects. And so every single Hendrix grad completes at least 3 Odyssey credits across this program. And so for instance, just a random Odyssey might be taking a theater class, which would kind of consider artistic creativity. You might also study abroad for 1 semester. And then you might also do an internship during the summer, and that would be professional leadership development. And that's just one base general Odyssey, but all of our students have varying different Odysseys, whether they create projects just for themselves or that they join something already going on here on our campus or simply take a class. That's just something to keep in mind. And then if you're really passionate about language and literature, the Murphy program is for you. So that second semester freshman year, you're able to apply to be a Murphy Scholar. And this would give you an additional $4,000 to take additional coursework, unpaid internships, maybe studying abroad, as well as anytime we have poets or authors coming to class campus, our Murphy Scholars are the first people going to be in contact with them. And the third thing on this slide is our Miller Center. So we are affiliated with the United Methodist Church, but that doesn't mean that you have to go to chapel or take specific coursework, just knowing that we do have those resources here if that's something you're interested in. One cool part about the Miller Center is the fact that we do have service learning trips. So had COVID not happened, a group of students would have gone to Katrina, do more of that, would have gone to New Orleans, do more of that Katrina cleanup last spring. And that's just one example of what those service learning trips look like. We have different ones that go all across the world or different parts of the US as well. So as you're kind of thinking about applying to Hendrix, whether you're a senior right now or in your junior year, just kind of putting that into place, there are 2 main ways to apply, either through the Common App or the Hendrix application. Either way is free. And then kind of those base materials you would need is your high school transcript, as well as an essay. And so we don't have any supplementary writing samples you need here at Hendrix. You just need whatever the Common App is asking of you. And you'll see that on our website or the Common App. And then just a few other things to kind of think about. A school report typically comes with your transcript, as well as extracurricular activities that typically translates really well from whatever application you choose. And the last thing, and I covered this last because we are test optional, but we didn't make that change because of COVID. We made that change about a year ago prior to COVID. And we did that because we know that you are more than what you can do in a testing period, and your application holistically will tell us if you're going to be a great fit here at Hendrix or not. So if you have test scores, you love them, bring them in. But if you don't, that's fine too, because we're going to look at your application the same way. Now you're kind of thinking about, okay, well, how will I afford this education? So there's 3 main ways to do that. Every single person who applies to Hendrix is looked at for our merit-based scholarships, and those start at about $15,000. We do also have our Hendrix co-curricular scholarships, and those are our Impact, our Miller, United Methodist Youth Foundation scholarship, as well as Performing and Fine Arts. And so although our application will open on August 1st, these won't be due until February 1st. So you might already apply and then decide to submit one of these applications. And of course, the FAFSA. So we always encourage any family to submit the FAFSA, and it'll kind of let you know what you're looking for in terms of federal grants or federal loans. And if you submit that by January 15th of your senior year, you automatically get the Hendrix Early Filer Grant, which is additional $1,000 added to your aid package every single year that you attend Hendrix. We do have federal work study and as well as Hendrix work study if you're not applicable for federal work study. And then a great program we have here that really makes our education more available to everyone is called Tuition Advantage. And so what that simply means is that the tuition that you would pay to attend Hendrix would be the same as your state's flagship institution. So for y'all in Tennessee, that'd be the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. So you take Knoxville's tuition and then take our room and board costs, and that'd be your base cost of attendance to attend Hendrix. Something to keep in mind. And then lastly, just dates to keep in mind. So application does open on August 1. FAFSA does open on October 1. And then our Hendrix Early action deadline would be November 15th. So if you want to put that in your calendar or whatnot, we are still accepting applications for this coming fall as well. So keeping that in mind if you are a senior. And we always want to hear from you. So I am your counselor, and always feel free to reach out to me. I'll put this information in the chat. But yeah, I hope to maybe continue this conversation with you about Hendrix and maybe your future home here. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, everyone. What we're going to do now, since we have some time left, is I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go through some round robin questions for our presenters tonight. The first question is going to be, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? We're going to start with our first presenter, and that is University of Central Arkansas.
I would definitely say be open-minded and deadlines. Being open-minded is very important when it comes to, you don't want to just go to school where your friends are going. Deciding where you're going in college is a big decision, and it is very individual based. And our deadlines are hard deadlines for all colleges. So just make sure you're staying ahead of the game, and it's never too early to start looking at colleges and starting conversations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I thought you wanted us to go ahead and go. Yeah, that's great advice. I think my biggest piece of advice, if at all possible, make it for a college tour, an in-person tour. I know that was a huge deciding factor for me when I was looking at colleges. You know, there's something about being physically there on the campus, seeing if you can fit in, seeing if it, you know, feels like the right place for you. So I would just encourage you to take the time to do that in a safe way and whatever's best for you. But if you can make it happen, definitely do that.
Okay, I would kind of agree with the University of Arkansas. I would definitely say step foot on campus and just see what it feels like, because you're going to know pretty quickly if it's somewhere that you can fit in or not. And I'd also tell you to ask questions. So let's say that, you know, something may be really, really important to you, and college XYZ doesn't have that, ask, because you never know. You just don't know. So that would be my advice.
Well, I got dibs next, right? Well, great. I think my advice is, you know, find the things that are authentically you at the college that you're at, the colleges that you're interested in. So continuing your research. That's a research of self in addition to the research of the places that you're interested in. And so as you're beginning to think about like, oh man, am I curious? Does it mean that I'm curious because I watched 17 YouTube videos down on the same topic? You know, absolutely, it does. And so thinking about that, but applying it to college search, put that same type of veracity in it, because that's going to be the best way that you're going to make a more informed decision once you're ready.
Awesome. Going off of that, I always say have your list of non-negotiables. So whether that's a football team, whether that's Greek life, whether that's living in a big city or a small town, whether it's being close to home, I always say have a list of 3 to 5, and that'll really narrow down that college search for you, especially if one of the big things is you want a campus of like 20,000 people, then half the schools in this call are not for you. And so just kind of thinking about that, and it really allows you to kind of narrow down that option.
Awesome. Thank you. And the next question is going to be, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? And we'll start right back up at the top. What is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So at the University of Central Arkansas, my favorite tradition we have, and it's an event, it's called Conway Days. And one of the first weeks of classes, all of these businesses and restaurants and companies come to Conway, or they're in Conway, and they come to UCA and they set up, and it's a huge fair, and they give away free stuff to students, meals, giveaways, and it's just really fun. And it's another way for students to grab a roommate they may not know very well yet and go do something. It's part of our Welcome Week activities, but it's really fun because you may run into a professor or someone you had class with. So it's just another good way to get some free stuff as a broke college kid, but also meet some people while you're walking around with your friends.
Mhm.
Well, certainly our most popular tradition is calling the hogs. There's really nothing like it. And so that's definitely a really fun one on our campus. But one that a lot of people don't know about is something that we call senior walk. It's my favorite tradition at the University of Arkansas. So every single student who graduates from our university gets their name engraved on our sidewalk. So you are figuratively and literally a part of our university forever. It's a really fun tradition for alumni to come back if they're coming for homecoming or for a visit. They actually go around and find their name wherever it is on the sidewalk. So it stretches about 5 miles across our campus, so you can't miss it if you come for a visit. It's pretty special.
I would say my favorite tradition at Williams is going to be what we call Christmas in the Cove. So with us being a smaller university, Williams owns 27 houses behind the college. And so different faculty, staff, administration live in those houses. And so what we do around, it's kind of Christmas time, but the students get out way before Christmas. So it's usually the Sunday before, or sometimes the Monday before finals. And the students come in and we open our houses and we have things like a nacho bar, we have candy, we have coffee. There's like 15 different things you can choose, and you just get them all before finals. You take them to your dorm room and you chow down. But you get to come into the houses of different professors, like your hardest professor may be out here and you're going to hang out with them. Staff, administration, everybody's out here. So it's just a really fun time.
Yeah, over at Paul Quinn College, I like it when we start up the Voices That Matter speaker series. So we get to host a lot of great folks coming through here, some celebrities, some notable speakers, but that typically will begin around February in the spring semester. So that's one of my favorite traditions is, we recently had Emmy-winning television producer Kim McCoy on, and she got to speak with President Sorrell. And so it's a nice learning opportunity, but at the same time, you're getting, kind of a personal connection with these people, typically in person. But right now, with things going on, the speaker series being online has offered us a fantastic variety of speakers we may not otherwise have had an opportunity for. So it's one of my favorite traditions at Paul Quinn.
Awesome, and I'll round that out. So I'm fairly new to Hendrix, but as I was looking into this school, one awesome tradition that really stood out to me is called Shirt Tail. So back in 1913, when Hendrix beat Ole Miss, about 200 male students kind of stormed Conway and had this big party, which is now like where UCA is and different things like that. And so every year in the spring at the end of orientation, all of our freshmen, depending upon which residential hall they live in, all come up with a dance within their hall and they all compete down in our brick pit. It's a really big tradition. A lot of our alumni, faculty members, and just people in the community as well come and witness this huge event every year.
All right, awesome, thank you. And then one more question is going to be, give an interesting or fun fact about your school. I know you've all mentioned some pretty awesome things already. So even if it's rehashing a little bit more of something you've already mentioned or not, what is an interesting or fun fact about your school?
An interesting fact about the University of Central Arkansas, they just had a documentary come out during quarantine. We all needed a good documentary when we were stuck at home. It's called The Last Dance, and it's about Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, but they talk a lot about Scottie Pippen, his right hand, and he attended UCA and played basketball here, and he actually lived down the street from my dad in college. So he's one of the greatest NBA players of all time, and he came from UCA and he grew up in Hamburg, Arkansas. So that's a fun fact.
So I know that I mentioned we're the home of the only Razorbacks in the world. And with that actually comes a live mascot who comes to all of our home football and basketball games. He's really cute. His name is Tusk, and he's a Razorback hog. He lives, is really well taken care of at a farm about an hour from here, and the family comes and brings him for all our home games. And so not only do you get to cheer on our team, but also maybe get to see a live Razorback hog. So that's pretty unique to us.
So I don't necessarily have anything new to say. We do not have a live eagle. I think that could cause problems. I'm not sure. But basically my big thing is just to keep in mind Williams is very friendly and community driven and family driven. So you're going to get that feel. It's kind of funny, but one of the couples that I know on campus, they met on campus, and one of the professors is actually going to marry them. So if that's not Baptist, I don't know what is. And so, you just get that small town feel that you're going to get in that community feel. And I think that's pretty fun.
So just kind of keeping on the, I guess, Paul Quinn innovation train from earlier. If you work at Chipotle, we've just joined the Guild Network. So Chipotle will contribute educational funds and essentially pay for your degree. A fun fact about us is that we've just joined the Guild Network. And if you haven't gotten a job at Chipotle yet and you want a four-year degree, that is a fantastic opportunity for students to take on that route with us.
It took me a moment, but then as I thought about the whole animal thing, so we actually have a cat colony here on our campus, which is pretty cool. It was actually a student's Odyssey project a few years ago to get this huge, a massive population of cats that we had spayed and neutered. And then she was also going to get them rehomed. But what she really noticed was that the cats were such a fixture on our campus that if they all were to be rehomed, they would miss us too much and we would miss them. So we do have about 9 to 20 cats that are taken care of throughout, I guess, the week or whatnot. And there's different events that we have specifically on campus related to the cats, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. Because we have just a few more minutes, StriveScan wants to definitely make sure you're getting your time's worth as well, presenters. So the last thing I'll actually ask is if you can give maybe just a quick snippet of how your school has handled life after the bulk of the pandemic. I don't want to really say post-COVID because I know there's still a lot of things going on, but how has your school really shifted in that way to get school back in person for people?
Yeah, so here at UCA and in our office, and I know across campus, they really did a great job at prioritizing faculty and staff who would get the vaccine first and all of that, and really handled that well. And our president worked really hard to work with our governor, and he officially announced a couple weeks ago that we will be opening back up in the fall to normal before COVID guidelines. So that's some good news from us.
Yeah, similarly to UCA, I mean, we've definitely seen a prioritization of vaccinations. So, faculty, staff were among the first in the state to be able to get it. And now it's really open to all students, anyone over the age of 16 in the state of Arkansas. And so we've been able to host mass vaccination clinics on our campus down at our stadium and have seen a lot of response from students. So we're excited about what's to come. I can tell you that this semester we had about 45% of our classes had an in-person component, but we plan on returning to pretty much fully back to as normal as it can possibly be. I don't know if we'll pack a lecture hall with 500 students, but it certainly is going to be back to as normal as it possibly can be. So we're really excited for the fall. So.
I know I've said it 4 million times, I'm sorry, but we are a small university. And so we definitely had to make a lot of changes in our classrooms, but at the same time, we didn't have to make that many changes. We were able to, socially distance. wear our mask. We are wearing the mask until the end of the school year. But Arkansas has lifted the mask ban. That's not what it's called. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean. And so for the most part, most of our things are going back to normal, whatever that might be in the fall. We've been in person for the most part this whole semester. So.
Over at Paul Quinn here in Dallas, again, the mask mandate by the state has changed, but we continue to put care at the forefront of what we're doing as we reopen for the fall. So vaccinations are a part of it. We opened up a COVID testing site on campus for our community. And so we'll continue that in that process as well. In addition, we're building out some different contraptions, if you will, to continue distancing once we do come back in the fall, and to do it at a abridged capacity, if you will. So that's kind of what the fall will look like, but offering more online opportunities for students at the same time.
Awesome. So Hendrix, we really dedicated the fall to kind of figuring out the best way to have our students come back and learn in person for this semester. And so our tracing team was able to do that. And so all of our students went under testing, and our athletes went under repeated testing throughout their seasons. And some of them are still going on. And we've had really great results with that. And so about 76% of our students are in person on campus. We then have about 10% of our students who live off campus in the surrounding areas, but still attend class in person. And we have the next 13% are remote and off campus. And so the goal is to just continue with what we've been doing over the last few months to just finish this season strong, and then hopefully come back next fall with just more information, as well as the fact I think other schools in Arkansas have mentioned vaccination. So all our faculty staff have been vaccinated at this point, and now our students are going through that process as well. And it's all just under the idea of and guise of the caring. So it's not necessarily required to get vaccinated, but most of the people in our community are doing that.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to all of our presenters for handling all the questions so well and giving some great information about their schools. There's going to be a quick 4-question survey after you close this window, so please make sure to fill that out. You can sign up for more sessions and view the recording for this session and any others at strivescan.com/Tennessee. Good luck on the college search process, and thank you for joining us again. Take care.